Ask the streets. Ask the streets. Ask the streets.
I like that one.
I don't know why I haven't taken a life yet. I stood 2 feet from him, a junkie and husband, struggling. They had been arguing drunk and called the damn police to help him. Apparently, he swung on us. Now a black woman is a black woman like my mama, so that's always gonna be a problem. She did him the same way Barbara did my biological. Could've shot him, but instead grabbed a blade, made a few incisions, his shirt went crimson, and he started hollering God louder than a Christian. It could have been an itchy trigger finger infection instead of racist training, living, and pure ignorance to make a female officer hit him with a baton and shout anything. Like, she's bleeding and he isn't. And from that gesture of aggression.
Break down the Bible, the King James Bible now.
What part was it? Where we at?
You talking about the Bible, you said that the Bible had 3 different gods.
There's more than 3 gods.
There's more than
way
3
more, but there's 3 in particular, the Old Testament, I meant to say.
And so I need you to be like,
let's break it down.
Let's break these.
I'll break it down for you right now. Okay.
That's not gonna go nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere, so I'm staying right there. I got you.
Right there.
3 gods. I'm gonna start off by letting you know. Let's get him catch my breath. Whew. I tried to run pretty quick down this. God lets you know that there's other gods in the beginning. He lets you know. Okay. He let Moses know. You know what he says? He said, I am the most high God. You will put no God before me. He didn't say I'm the only God.
True.
That's all he ever said. If you notice with the Pharaoh, he never ever said that Pharaoh had worshipped a different God. Pharaoh just had his people. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to backtrack. I just want to set the story on that one. I want to set the scene. Let's look at the symbolism of the first God, the God of the the ram, Abraham's God,
okay,
which we all think is, Jehovah, which was actually, I theorize, was Gabriel, the archangel Gabriel, is what we know of as the first Old Testament God we know of as Gabriel. He's a ram. He's also known as Moloch. Moloch, you've heard of him before?
I heard Moloch.
But Moloch, he's the one who they sacrifice children to. That cow or goat daddy, you understand what I'm saying? Right. And that's significant. The reason why that part is significant, that the child sacrifice was so important, the reason why that part is important to understand, the ending reign of that first God, or possibly second God mainly, but let's go with the first God, is when Abraham stopped when he was about to kill his son.
Okay.
And he stopped. That was the end of that reign. That was the end of that reign. That's the reason why the second God was really unhappy about when Moses came down and they had the golden calf, which is Moloch.
Which is Moloch. They was about to worship Moloch.
They worshiping the old God.
The old God, right.
You need to worship this God. This new time, baby. I came to get you. He didn't. Right. And I ain't gonna say it like that. I'm gonna say maybe it's not his turn anymore. It's not his era right now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We all take turns. Now, that guy was really, warmongering too, if you pay attention. Mm-hmm. You go kill all them. Go kill them. They all, look, if it was one God, gotta pay attention. These would all have been his children that he telling his children to go kill. Yeah. And he's telling them, don't leave no women, no children, and no livestock. You understand what I'm saying? He purify the earth, clean them motherfuckers off, because we need them gone. That bloodline ain't got shit to do with what we got going on. Most of those people is what we get our information from now, though. The Phoenicians, the Canaanites. Think about this. When we speak, it's called phonics, because we get all our language from the Phoenicians. Right. So everything we know of now is really taken from older knowledge that was killed away by what we'll call the Hebrews at that time. But that was because that second God was trying to cleanse the earth of that bullshit, is what he saw it as. That's why that escape from Egypt story was so impactful, because you got to think about it. The Egyptians was still tight with the old gods. How many deities did they have with horns?
Right, the horn God.
You get what I'm saying? And they still use that magic. And that's why it was important. That story is important for you to understand that the old God ain't shit like the second God, because when the Pharaoh when Pharaoh's mages or magi or magicians, whatever you want to call them, threw down their canes and they became serpents too. Moses, one cane, ate both of them motherfuckers. That's me telling you that this new God is twice as strong as your God. You get what I'm saying? Now let's pay attention. Now the third God is all peace. The first God had a position. He had a job. We gonna create, we gonna build upon. Second one, we gonna destroy they shit, take everything down. The third one, now that we didn't purge most of this shit, now this is the house that I will build my kingdom upon. And it's a total different everything. Bro, even the way we were supposed to eat changed. It didn't even matter. They claim it didn't even matter how we eat after that. It's now what goes into a man's mouth. It's now what goes into a man's mouth that makes him eat evil is what comes out of it type stuff. You get what I'm saying? Right. These are three different and this is what we call the Holy Trinity. And we don't pay attention to it. The Holy Trinity are three beings that control everything. But we don't see that. And we say they're all one God. True, they all carry one title. But they three beings. That's
I can see that, because I mean, you're right. I'm not no religious guy, but I understand the Bible. I grew up in the church. And I see I see the evolution that you just broke down. I see the three personalities like that stood out there definitely. But you say it's more gods.
Of course, there's more gods. That's why.
This the King James. So hold on. So what are you saying about this? What are you saying? It's not describing one God. What's monotheism then?
No such thing as it. It never existed, bro. Monotheism is nothing but, how do I put this? Is nothing but excuse for invasion.
Okay.
The one God was created to have an excuse. To have an excuse to invade places, bro. Let's think about this. If your people over here and y'all religious and everybody is governed by this word, but it's a peaceful word. And I need to tell people and convince people that with this peaceful word, we supposed to go murder people.
Right.
How do I do that?
I don't know.
I attack paganism. Think about this, bro. What were you before slavery? You weren't a Christian. Before slavery, what was the state of black people? Before, not even slavery, before outside influence, what was the state of black people? When I say outside influence, we got to understand our first slavers was the fucking Arabs. And they were the first one to bring us religion. We had spirituality, bro. So what were we before any of that?
We were the people of the planet. And that's a hard discussion, because you got a lot of people saying that we all over this. We've been all over the place, not just Africa. We was all over there before.
We just were, bro. We just were.
So
we just were. There was no title, bro. If everything is everything, how do you title everything? You just say everything.
Yeah.
We just were. We just were. And every culture on earth that exists has sampled pieces of what resonated with them, of what we just were, and they created systems and doctrines based off of that, and we call these doctrines civilization, and we call these rules and these laws and these moral standpoints, we call them religions. You get what I'm saying? That's all it is. We got to understand that there's no real thing as good or bad in this world, bro. There's no right or wrong. There's nothing at all like that. The Bible tells you that, but that's bullshit too. That's just a choice. There's no such thing as right or wrong. Let me explain why I mean this. I know I say that's a blanket term, but the truth is, everything is either pleasant or unpleasant, period. If something feels pleasant to you, you deem it as good. If something feels unpleasant to you, you deem it as bad. If something feels pleasant to a lot of people, it's considered right. If something's deemed unpleasant to a lot of people, it's considered wrong. And the reason why I say that is because what's deemed pleasant to you and what's deemed pleasant to this person are two totally different things. And I use an example that's very cliche, but to me it's socially relevant. Let's think about right now, so this pedophile thing is all over the world. So let's really discuss this. Right now in America, you go to marry a 13-year-old girl, you are a fucking sicko, right? You are a fucking nasty, perverted motherfucker. Now, I'm not making excuses, but let's understand this. If we take that same couple, and they were born 2,000 miles to the east somewhere, 2,000 or 3,000 miles to the east somewhere in one of these Arab nations, and now instead of judgment, they're getting celebrations at their wedding. Might get a few goats and shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they still get judged based on the culture though, because if you know, if I see it, I'm gonna think it.
But this is what you said, based on the culture. Now hear me out. Is right or wrong, good or bad, something that's so fluid that it can change based on where you are in the world. If something is good and something is bad, then it should be bad or good round the world.
True.
So that means there's no concrete right or wrong. That means what we consider right or wrong is something that's emotionally based and set up by man. If it made people feel a certain way that was unpleasant, we said it was wrong. And based on enough people doing things wrong, we created rules.
Okay.
And it's all based on something that felt unpleasant. It just felt unpleasant to enough people for somebody to write this shit down.
So what came first, the crime or the law?
Bro, how can a crime exist if there's no law to break? The action happened, regardless if it was a crime at all. The action happened, and because of the result of the action, someone placed a law to prevent it from happening again.
Okay.
Then the next person that did it was a criminal. But the first person that did it was a fucking hero because he got away with some shit that wasn't there.
But who had the authority to? Okay, so when you said that when the majority of people agreed that action was wrong, now the law was created to say.
Is that really how it worked out?
I'm asking you.
I'll tell you how it worked out is, I mean, that's pretty much it. But we didn't say this needs to be a law. We cried to somebody that we put in place as a king or as a ruler and made them create a law. See, it's the same as us doing it, but what we did was from the beginning of time, we avoid responsibility. Do you realize if you pay attention to the Bible, mankind was never meant to have kings and queens?
Yeah, but who started this shit?
I'm finna tell you, we did. We wanted leadership. We wanted somebody, because what we wanted really was somebody to take the blame. Because if everything goes wrong, we can point to him. But if there is no him, if something goes wrong, you got to point here. And us as a people, as a species, bro, we don't want that. And that's why white people are awesome, and that's why they do what they do, bro. I hate to say that, and I want you to understand, when I say awesome, I mean what the word means. They leave you, oh my God, I can't believe they did that shit. And the reason why they aren't like that, bro, is because they don't care about failing. We do. We care about how we look. If we look, bro, this is a true story. I was in the army.
Why is that though?
Why is that?
Why is that? Why don't they care? And why do we care?
Oh, we care because.
And is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Is it a good thing or a bad thing that we care?
But it's no good or bad. So how is this? It's
just a thing.
Is it a negative or a positive?
Is it negative or positive? It depends. It depends on your lifestyle, really. It depends on what you want. The truth is, in my opinion, that nothing pleasant can ever come in your life from ever considering what other eyes see. Because you're the only one that have to experience your life. This moment right now, bro, honestly, in this conversation, nobody else in the world is having this exact conversation. There's nobody else just like you.
All right.
In this moment that you're having, you're the only one to have to live it. So for you to alter that, change that, or hinder that based on what somebody else may think or feel is really crazy. Because if you were on a way to go buy a pair of shoes because everybody was buying these shoes and you died, got hit by a car, you lost your life in a pursuit of other people's feelings, in a pursuit of some gratification you felt based on some value you placed in that person. And that's what it really was. You placed value in that person, which really they've never demonstrated. Okay.
Is there something wrong with that?
I think it is. I think it's sick. I think it's one of the reasons why we're in the situation that we are. We place value in a lot of people place value in the president. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a soldier, I'm a patriot. So I will follow the word of any president we have. You'll never hear me talk bad about him. If you ever notice, you never see me on my Facebook say anything negative about Trump ever. I ask questions, but I never talk bad about any president because I believe that once that position is given, I don't care how you got it. Once you're there, you're there. Ain't nobody, let's be honest, when last time you heard a president get impeached? Yeah. We're not friends, bro. We don't just fire a president because we don't like what he's doing. Nah, we next one. We ride that shit out and we re-elect our assholes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, if this is the president we got, I don't even know what the point is about bitching about what he does. But what we can do is pay attention to the world. And we got to understand that as long as we put so much value in other people will always have this time where you're focused on what another man is thinking. Think about this in real life. When a president made a decision, when has it honestly affected you in your everyday life, in real life?
That's one of the points I be making too. When I see people argue and debate over left and right, I'm like, man, you don't have no friends in this fight.
Right.
Left or right. I don't see where you got a friend at. I don't see it.
I asked the white guy, one of my best friends is a white dude named John League. I say white dude because I have to say that, because black people, when you tell them you got a white best friend, they just, whoa. They don't understand this motherfucker. And I'd say he was racist when we met, which means he still is racist. But at least he's honest about it. I like that. But the thing about this dude, I asked him as a white person, how has his life changed since been affected by any president? And the only answer he had was, it's a little bit harder getting on a plane. The only way his life has changed anyway, or been impacted by any president, is that during the Bush administration, 9/11 happened. Now it's harder for him to get on a plane, like it's harder for everybody to get on a plane. That just shows you from two different standpoints of life that nobody is actually really affected in your everyday life unless you live within a certain means or above.
Right.
So the average person doesn't affect you. So why do you care? Why do you care about basketball? If you really pay attention to most of the sports we watch, it's one team takes the ball from one side of something to the other side, and the other team tries to stop it. Mix that shit, repeat it however the fuck you want, but that's all it is. Hockey, soccer, that's all it is.
Yeah, and hopefully your team win, right?
That's all. And bro, there's billions of dollars and billions of attention paid to this, bro. People go and watch these games, and they don't even know how to fucking balance a checkbook. They could spend that same time to do that shit, bro. I don't watch sports. I don't watch television. That's not because I'm high and mighty. It's because the shit just don't entertain me. G. Once I watch a basketball game or two, it's like, all right, what's next?
Now people gonna want to revisit something you just said. Now you said you deal with a white racist guy who your best friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to explain this relationship. Now, how does that work? When do you feel as though he got your best interest in mind? If he is racist, if you say he's racist,
when I say he's racist, let me. I'm not gonna say racist. What's what I'm looking for? Prejudice. Let's not go racist. Racist means you have the power to impact somebody's life with your prejudice, pretty much. Racism, a real racist act, is something most black people don't know what it is. What we really get is our prejudice acts for the most part.
Okay.
A racist act is definitely being shot because you're black. That's racism. A person saying nigger, thinking you a nigga, that's more of a prejudice situation, and prejudice can be solved a lot easier than racism itself can. And the thing is, what I mean by that is prejudice usually comes from lack of education. Okay. Of not being, what's the word I'm looking for, exposed to one another. I was pretty prejudiced when I joined the military, horribly. Prejudice also really only means you can notice and you can see a huge difference between you and I embrace that difference. That's all prejudice really means. But it still is negative in the output. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to make it sound nice and innocent. I'm just trying to make sure we understand this. So when I met this dude, he was an average white dude you meet that calls you bro. What's up, bro? Try to talk a little different around you. And I instantly caught the racism. And I'm not gonna lie, I choked the fuck out of him within the first couple months of knowing him. Choked the dog shit out of him. And what I liked about him is that as I was choking him, he never stopped punching me in the face. And I know that sounds weird, but where we grow up at, we usually see white kids as weak. You get what I'm saying?
True.
And for this white dude to not reach for my hands to pull him off his neck, you understand what I'm saying? To just keep reaching back and hitting me. I admired it for a second. And when me and the guy got to talk and really talked, I realized that I'm like the second black person he ever met. So all he knew about black people was based on what his father, his grandfather,
what TV told him.
Or fucking TV told him, or rap, that is our people don't understand that our music is our representation to the world. See, when I was in Iraq, people say, hey, what's up, my nigga, my nigga? They don't even speak English and they know how to say, what's up, my nigga, my nigga? You feel what I'm saying? So that's our representation. That's what he saw. You know, he saw that. He saw big booties on TV. He saw Martin, damn, all that type of shit. And so he was talking like that, bro. His phrase he used to say all the time was Ludacris song. What was that? You don't know me like that. We'll be in line. He'll go, and he said it so white and Caucasian. So he'll, woo, woo, motherfucker, you don't know me like that. Woo, woo, get back, bitch. Some shit like, it's just like that. G. You be laughing your ass off. Corny as fuck. But, bro, he started, because you're in the army, you forced to be around each other, right? So we started having like guard duty together and shit like that, and I would be listening to music and what I consider real music, bro. I'm talking about Kanye, early Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt era, talking about Big L, and I'm listening to, you know, at the time Cassidy was killing it, you know what I'm saying? And we in like, I think we were in fucking Iraq, my second tour in Iraq at Camp Spiker on guard duty. This is all we listened to, G. And this dude, like, I started seeing a change in him. It's like the more he was around me, the more he became like me, but not on how you, I mean, not, you know how white people jack our swag, but not like that. It was like more like he was learning about parts of life that he didn't understand, he never saw existed. Like he would see the way we are as, you know, the aggressive nature, and he would think that we were just aggressive. Now I understand that black people see shit before anybody else. So if you do something a certain way, I caught your vibe, homie. And I'm on that with you. Now, nobody else had to see it. And I'm going to look like I'm starting shit. But motherfucker, you and I know what you just did, bro.
I know what you just did.
Even when the police come, I'm going to be the one cuffed. But we know, motherfucker, I'm going to keep looking at you the whole time I'm leaving out. Like, bro, for real?
Shit, we might need to touch on that. That's some real shit right there.
And so with that said, he would notice that, G, and he started being around, and he started using them same eyes. And I get a great example. We were going to lunch one day. It's a guard duty, bro. We've been on shift like 3-4 hours out there. I'm holding a big dumbass gun, heavy as fuck. I'm tired, he tired. We coming in to eat. And the big black dude from Florida, I think his name was Quinn or some shit like that, tries to bump him out of line. And he moves him back, Joe. He like bumps him back and just looks at him. I swear to God, he looked like one of the bros, man. Like when he did it, it was like one of the bros from the Plex or some shit, G. He looked at him like, man, I beat you. He just had to look at him. And dude like stepped towards him, was like, man, move, homie. And he was like, and without missing a beat, he was a Big L line. And it impressed me. Homeboy told him, he said, man, you know what? You might be kind of big, but they make coffins your size too. I swear to God, homeboy from Florida backed the fuck up. And we went in there and we ate, motherfucker. When I say ate, usually you're supposed to get in line and get your shit and move out the way. Nah, fam, we got our shit and we sat down in front of where everybody got to come past to eat. So we in the way just sat there slamming, taking our time eating. And it was perfect, bro. When I say he embraced a lot of that, but then he also started studying. And he started realizing he didn't know black people read. He used to come in my room and just, I would have like a library. And he would read, he would start reading shit, and he started reading about shit, and then he started holding me accountable. When I say his racism was low-key helpful, like, bro, I would be late a lot. I'm not gonna lie, in the army, I'm late as fuck, bro. I'm like any other dude, you feel me? And he'd be like, bro, come on, bro. Me and you just read the same Frederick Douglass book. Are you being a credit to your race right now? Now, how racist is that? But how fucking honest is that at the same time? Be real.
Well, if that's what we got to deal with. If it's truth, you know, is it really racism? You know what I mean? Or is it just because it's coming from a white guy?
And that's the thing. And that's why I'm glad you hit that. Any type of critique from a white person is first deemed as racism, and that's crazy. Even though I'm not pro-white, let's make sure we understand I'm pro-black like a motherfucker. But we got to see the sharks where the sharks are.
Okay.
You know, if we spend our whole life pointing out and saying everybody's trying to attack us, bro, we never gonna do anything because we always on defense, when real strength comes from vulnerability. I can't ask you for help if I'm looking at you like, no, he gonna judge me. And a lot of times people do. You ask a black motherfucker for help, bro, they gonna talk about it. Yeah, you know, I loaned Reggie $25. You know, that nigga just called me up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's real life, and you don't want that to happen. But you know what? I'm the type, and I've gotten to the point to it, bro, I'm not gonna lie. This place I'm living in now, it ain't the dopest place in the world. It's free, though. Like, I'm a house sitter. I get paid to live in a house that they pay the bills, and I just live here.
Right.
And that came from me asking a drug dealer for help.
I don't know if you want to.
No, I ain't finna expose nobody, but it was a guy, he wasn't even a friend, bro. I asked this dude to hold like $2. I was finna get like a 2-piece special from Popeyes, Joe. And I was homeless at the time with my ex-wife. And he was like, man, bro, I seen you before with this person. He was like, you need somewhere to stay? And I was like, yeah, bro. And he took me down to somebody, one of his clients. And he asked him, dude did not know me. And he was like, he a good dude. I seen him before. He a good dude. Man, can you help him out? And she was a house sitter working for the same company. And she let me move into the basement. And within 2 weeks, I was a house sitter. And I had my own place.
That's what's up.
And that came from me being Joe, just asking for help, which we never do. We never like to do.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta reach out and ask for help.
So, but think about that mind state, though. That's what I'm saying. That's all that was to get back to the black mind state. We gotta understand the differences and why I consider what they do awesome, bro. Is because they don't have that fear. It's not. See, when we say fear, when we think fear, we think about being hurt. We think about this. And understand, I'm saying it's not to glorify. I'm saying it's that because you gotta learn from, how do I put this? Who knows how to take the chains off you better? A nigga that's chained up, or the motherfucker that put the chains on you?
I guess the person who put the chain on you.
So you pay attention to them a little bit on how to get freedom. I'm not saying idolize. I'm not saying, you get what I'm saying? But I'm saying you gotta pay attention to that social structure, bro.
That's deep. That's deep. You know what I mean? Well, but you know, a lot of people think, you know, I guess.
But be honest.
I guess.
I
guess. No, I'm just saying. You know, a lot of people say. You know, I guess the new word is coon these days. They be like, he got a white homie and shit like that. So they wouldn't understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
And everyone that says that has a white boss that they smile in their face too, don't they? They get it. How you doing? They talk shit behind his back, but you got a white boss.
Okay.
Now think about that. Something, and there's bro, I can name, a matter of fact, if you can name more than a handful of black people you know of that are speaking about this conscious woke movement, and they're talking about real or reality, or anything they're speaking on, that doesn't somehow feed themselves or their children based on Caucasians, they'll never say another word.
Say somehow, right? You know what I mean?
If you take an airplane to a speaking engagement, you're not only getting transported by that Caucasian airline, you're putting money in his pocket. So there's no way you can say you're trying to separate if you're still in.
And that's the reality of us in America. That ain't finna change. So what do you think about the going back to Africa thing that people talk about? How do you feel about that for black folks?
Man, were we from there?
You tell me.
Man, look here. If we
I don't. You know what?
If we from everywhere, ain't no place to go back to. If we were covered the earth, there's no place to go back to.
And that's what I. But it's almost. I guess it's disrespectful to say you're not African. I guess if you black.
Why is it disrespectful? I think it's disrespectful to say you're not African if you're alive. All life was once African life, bro.
If you going with the out of Africa thing.
I'm not even going with. I'm even going with Genesis, bro. Where was the Garden of Eden located?
The North Pole.
The Garden of Eden. If you go by the topography and all that, if you go by the locations, it's right there at the tip of Africa, bro, right close to Egypt and Israel. That little area right there. It's right there, which we call the cradle of civilization. We'll say it's by Iraq, but it's all the same area, bro. We can take the name away from it, but these borders that we see now are borders that were created by people who created these maps. You've never seen a map produced by God. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what a land is called, who decided the name was Africa? Who called it that? A Caucasian created the name Africa, bro. And black people swear by it. What is the real name of our home? I'll tell you what the biggest name, the closest name to it I know is Earth. Period. Every place a black man step is on planet Earth, and it is his home. Period. It was made for you. It was made for you to subdue it. It was made for you to replenish it. See, the problem is that we got to ask ourselves, the gods that created that man to till the soil, who were they? Because I started hitting on it when I brought up Dr. Yakub and when I brought up Jacob. Because we got to look at, the white man is only 6,000 years old. Disagree with me. Argue it. The white man is only 6,000 years old. Okay. Only 6,000 years old. When Dr. Yakub also when Jacob's brother Esau was born. You see what I'm saying? These stories are talking about the same thing, but it's so different story. It's different when you look at it as myth and magic. You just hear a story. But if you can look at this same thing and understand what technology is, bro, and we understand that technology can be so advanced to the point to where it's ancient man, it was magic. If I go back home, if I go back 1,000, 2,000 years and I do this, bro, I'm a god, bro. People would sacrifice, bro. I'd be fucking virgins, B. You understand that? People would be bringing me their daughters, bro, to fuck because I got a 7-Eleven lighter, bro. Now that's no, I'm not, I'm sorry, was that too racy? I mean, now that's no.
If you have questions that you would like to ask the streets, contact us at askthestreetsmedia@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.